I began my career in the early 80s when a lot of women broke with tradition and went into the workplace to pursue the same jobs as men. When I told people that I was going to be an engineer and then go into the Air Force, a lot of them asked me if I was sure I could measure up to all the men. Their questions gave me some really high expectations for the male-dominated workplace. But soon after I began working, I started questioning everything I was ever told. My workplace wasn't anything like what I expected. As a matter of fact, I didn't see anything that even remotely resembled anything I was told. So by the afternoon of my fourth day, my frustration and confusion boiled over. I stood in the middle of my office and said, "What the heck? I thought you guys were supposed to be good at this stuff." For 4 days, all I saw was chaos and crisis management. No one seemed to be in charge or even trying to take charge. Any concerns that I had about measuring up to my colleagues, well, they were gone. I informed my colleagues that I was not going to spend the rest of my career working like this. I was going to figure out what was fundamentally wrong with the male-dominated workplace and fix it. It didn't take long for me to realize that the way my male colleagues worked wasn't as much wrong as it was incomplete. It always felt like there were things missing in everything that they did. Since I couldn't articulate what it was, I began using the term Swiss cheese to describe it. I decided that I would look for Swiss cheese holes. I looked for the things men didn't do, didn't say, and didn't think of. I also looked for the things that they did say that didn't make any sense and the good ideas that they thought of but then threw away. Then I did whatever I thought was necessary to fill in the holes. By filling in the Swiss cheese holes, I made our performance soar, and we often exceeded all expectations. Now, men like to make women think that the best men don't have any Swiss cheese holes in their work. But when I was just 24 years old, I blew that myth to smithereens. I had a project dumped on me that was originally assigned to somebody else, but since they were leaving before it was due, they didn't do any work on it. I had 6 weeks to do 4 months of work. I was in a panic, so I called up the project manager to give him my excuses and sob story. But after we talked, I realized that all they wanted me to do was look for Swiss cheese holes. I was given access to a system that I thought of as the ultimate testament to man's supreme power and might, as well as his superior intellect. This system was what the best of the best produced. When I told men that I was looking for holes in the system, they scoffed at me and told me there were no holes. One day, I was out with a man who was explaining a part of the system to me and how perfect it was. After he was done, without even skipping a beat, I pointed to the gaping Swiss cheese hole in front of us. After he picked his jaw up off the ground, I went on to discover several more Swiss cheese holes. Now, as you can imagine, when I filed my report, the stuff hit the fan big time. Powerful men realized that if there were Swiss cheese holes in this system, there were Swiss cheese holes everywhere. The idea that there are Swiss cheese holes everywhere has been a hard concept for men and the male-dominated workplace to accept. So the 21st century is teaching it to us the hard way. Terrorism and computer system hacking are all about exploiting the Swiss cheese holes in systems. Swiss cheese holes cause many of our disasters, and they're the reason why so many workplace and government programs don't achieve their expected results. To help us ignore all this, we invented the law of unintended consequences so we can think that these holes are a natural and unavoidable occurrence. But they aren't. I spent my career finding and filling in Swiss cheese holes. To me, it was incredibly easy to do. So I kept having this nagging question. Why can't any of the guys do this? Then I figured it out. There's only one real difference between me and them. I was a woman. I was filling in the Swiss cheese holes with female traits, female ways of thinking, and female ways of doing things. That's why none of the guys could do it. Continue watching the next video in this series to learn how women's traits go from filling in Swiss cheese holes to transforming the workplace. This is Dot Callahan asking you to help me turn the woman in the room into the women in the room. Sign up for my newsletter, subscribe to my YouTube channel, or find The Woman in the Room on Facebook. It's up to you. Just keep watching and sharing my videos.